Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is KidLee. Let's have a little chat about BioWare's big announcement and everything that was said in such announcements. Starting with Chapter 10, Anarchy in Paradise. We have an official release date for this. It is going to be February 11th, 2016. And along with Chapter 10, there will also be Game Update 4.1. One of the items in 4.1 is going to be a new feature, I guess you could call it a feature, called Fighting for the Eternal Championship. And this is a single-player mode, if you want to call it that, where you go into this arena and you fight wave after wave of bad guys to see how long you can basically last. If you're familiar with the term Horde mode, it's going to be something that's very similar to that. Now, what exactly do you get from doing this? They didn't really talk about too much. I mean, are you going to get money, experience, prizes? Don't really know. But the one thing that they did say is if you're familiar with the Smuggler and the Wookiee companion that is in the Smuggler storyline, you will be able to recruit that companion as a part of this fighting for the Eternal Championship. Next up, they introduced a new subscriber reward program. So I'm going to click off a few things here. I got all this stuff written down. So the first item is be a subscriber. Let's try that again. Be a subscriber on January 11th to receive HK55 as a playable companion when 4.1 launches. Now, I'm not quite sure how I should say this, but because I want to try and keep things spoiler for. You know what? At this point, if you haven't played Knights of the Fallen Empire, you probably won't. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say that in one of the chapters, HK55 gets destroyed. They said that when you get HK55 as a playable companion, there's going to be some kind of a quest where you're able to reacquire him. So I am guessing it has something to do along the lines of you take his corpse, you repair him, and he's all shiny and new again. So that is going to be item number one. Item number two is if you are a consistent subscriber from January 11th through Chapter 16, which is basically going to be like in August, apparently, you will receive an entire bonus chapter where you will get to play as HK55. So this is pretty cool. They've never done anything quite like this. You know, you've always been just your character and you're doing your thing. So for the first time ever, you're actually going to get to play as somebody else. So that's pretty cool. Next up, if you are a subscriber on the first of each month, you will be getting some additional bonuses. You will receive 2 days of early access to any chapter that comes out that particular month, whatever month it is. And this will include Chapter 10 in February. There will also be additional monthly subscriber rewards throughout Season 1, most of which will be themed around HK55. They then moved on to the 4th anniversary information. That'll be coming up here fairly shortly. So they said if you log in anytime between December 8th and January 5th, you will get all of the 4th anniversary rewards. The one that they did talk about is an HK51 Stronghold decoration. What else is there going to be? They didn't really say. And let's see, looking over my notes here. One other thing I'll talk about, they just briefly mentioned this, and this has been one of the concerns of the player base, and that is they mentioned before Knights of the Fallen Empire launched, they're like, choice is going to matter, choice is going to matter, choice is going to matter. And up to this point, it's like, not really seeing it. But they basically confirmed that choices will matter in the upcoming chapters. Stuff that you did will have an effect. And they said in Chapter 10, there are going to be 2 things that we will see. So, there we go on that. And just looking over my notes again, I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, there's a lot of other little stuff they talked about that's just kind of like, whatever. I will say, though, that once this announcement was done, looking over, Reddit, looking over Twitter and the forums, people were pretty unhappy with what they had to say, because on social media over this past week, they were like really hyping this up. They were really pumping this up. And people just sort of had the general impression of like, what, this is it? All this hype for this? Doesn't really seem like the hype level didn't meet the expectations of what you're trying to do here. And then, of course, you can imagine the PvP community, the raiding community, even like flashpoints and stuff. All these people is very unhappy that, again, another major announcement has come and gone. No new ops, no new PvP anything. So the community is pretty upset with the BioWare devs right now. But I think that, ladies and gentlemen, will go ahead and do it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching. And with that being said, everybody keep playing and have fun.